YNW Melly, his real name is Jamel Demons. He's actually in plain clothes in the courtroom for the first time in months, again, as this judge really starts the long process of seating a new jury.
YNW Melly is not happy with YNW Bortlen, as due to Bortlen's actions, YNW Melly is now receiving new charges in his retrial.
The state filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction.
As just prior to YNW Melly receiving these new charges, the judge was actually giving him a chance to be released on bond.
Jury selection for Melly's retrial will not begin on Monday, October 9th, like originally scheduled. Instead, next week, the judge said they will argue the state's motion to quash defense subpoenas of several prosecutors, including the elected state attorney. The defense motion to dismiss the case altogether will be heard next Friday on October 13th.
As Judge Murphy was giving YNW Melly and his lawyers a chance to make a convincing case for YNW Melly to be released on bond on last Friday. However, YNW Bortlen's recent actions ruined all chances Melly had. And it all begins when it was announced that YNW Bortlen was arrested for witness tampering charges. As while YNW Bortlen was out driving to the grocery store, his house was raided by the feds and they found insane paperwork against Bortlen and YNW Melly.
Melly's co-defendant YNW Bortlen was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law&Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Bortlen, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Demons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Bortlen allegedly tampered with the witness.
As it would be announced by Bryson Paul, here are the images of the alleged notes discovered during the home raid of YNW Bortlen's house last week, as filed into the Broward clerks by the state. As when YNW Bortlen showed up to YNW Melly's trial, he took a really good look at all of the jurors and where they were exactly sitting with a description of what they looked like. Then once he got home after the court date was over, he then drew everything on a piece of paper. To understand how serious this is, here's DJ Akademiks' reaction to it.
To keep it real, this is sloppy. Bortlen, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Like, god damn. Holy shit. You know what I mean? Like, brother, like, come the f on. It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
As after Judge Murphy would share inside of the courtroom what YNW Bortlen did, Bryson Paul would go on and release a statement saying, YNW Melly does not crack a smile at the gallery as he is escorted back to jail. YNW Melly has smiled at his family and more particularly his mother at the end of every single court hearing thus far. However, YNW Bortlen's recent reactions made Melly very angry, as the real reasoning for Melly's case going downhill so fast is YNW Bortlen alongside the new lead prosecutor in his case named Stephen Klinger, where it would be announced this week the new prosecutor in YNW Melly's trial is Stephen Klinger. He is a 39-year veteran in criminal law. As just with one day of being the new prosecutor, YNW Melly is facing 7 new charges. As sources would reveal that Stephen Klinger, compared to the old prosecutor Christine Bradley, is a complete nightmare, which is why YNW Melly's team was very upset when it would go on to be announced that Christine Bradley has been removed from the YNW Melly retrial following an order granted and signed by Judge Murphy on Thursday. As further explained,
I'm not a lawyer, but Bryson Boone Paul just tweeted that the prosecutor, Christine Bradley, has officially been removed from the YNW Melly case. That means she will not be the lead prosecutor for the retrial of YNW Melly. The news came from the Sun Sentinel, and it says that while Christine Bradley has been removed, the elected state attorney and 2 key deputies cannot be called to testify. Remember, Melly's attorneys were trying to get 7 of the state attorneys to testify, and this ruling is basically the judge saying no to at least one of those.
As Stephen Klinger being added to Melly's trial would then cause the family of YNW Juvie to do something very unbelievable. To understand this further, we need to dive deep into YNW Juvie's father, as Juvie's father would do an emergency interview with Law&Crime, giving new evidence to use against YNW Melly for the new lead prosecutor. Juvie's father would go on to explain how YNW Melly and Bortlen were witness tampering, including what code words they were using to make Melly's ex-girlfriend not testify against him in the original trial.
Both Melly, Jamel Demons, YNW Melly, and Cortland Henry, who is known as YNW Bortlen, are now charged with witness tampering. It sounds like the prosecutors are saying there was this kind of crazy way that Melly was communicating. He wasn't allowed to use the phone, but he was passing notes to people, and then this person's calling this person, and then that person.
Like to me, they're going through extreme measures to try to cover up or convince people not to testify, like Mariah mom. They was using code words like Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's baby mom. And
then it's when YNW Juvie's father would share what happened on the morning of the crime, the moment that he drove down to clarify to law enforcement that YNW Juvie was the one that sadly passed, as Melly's mother would tell the father something very concerning.
He wasn't, he had switched vehicles. At least that's what they said in the first trial, that he had gotten into, it was suggested through a defense witness, the one and only defense witness, that he had gotten into that other vehicle.
Yeah, they was telling me that I drove down there that morning to go identify Chris. I met Moretti down there that morning, other 26. And on the way down there, when I talked to Jamie, she told me the same thing. Like, don't talk to the media and tell them Melly wasn't there. Instantly, my antennas went up because I didn't understand. Like, I knew from that day, I knew something was up.
As YNW Juvie's father is laying out a ton of new evidence the lead prosecutor can use in the upcoming retrial, he would then even share the last moment that he saw Christopher, aka YNW Juvie, including how the trial is affecting him and his family.
Last time I spoke to Chris was like 2 days before the incident. Him and Melly FaceTimed me, and that's the last time I saw him. Last time I spoke to him was like that same week, man. It just hurt me to see that the love that he had for Melly to do that to him. I see if it was one of his enemies or somebody, he did something wrong or something, but the way it happened, how it happened, who did it, it just heartbreaking on both sides.
All of this legal wrangling that's leading to a delay in the second trial, how are you?
I'm taking it one day at a time. You know, you got to go through this process once again. I'll relive it once again.
As Stephen Klinger now has a lot of new evidence to use against Melly. Even a friend of late rapper King Von may have said a little too much to an O-Block resident named Jay Hood, as he would reveal something very unexpected this week, revealing what really happened to Sack Chaser and Juvie.
Did Von really tell you that Melly told him that he was 2 friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Von was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? What the bam? I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his 2 friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around them?
Revealing information that we never even knew, involving Sack Chaser and Juvie going after Melly for financial gain. However, the worst part of it all was when YNW Bortlen's interrogation interview from the night of the crime would now be released to the public. We need to dive deep into this interrogation, as YNW Bortlen would reveal what really happened when they hopped inside of their Jeep and began driving home.
Okay, tell me what happened. Man, I was playing music. Getting off the exit. I was already getting sleepy, but almost home. You know what I'm saying? And like just out of nowhere, like I just heard, you know what I'm saying? So, and I ducked down, you know what I'm saying, in the car.
Hey, well, Ashley,
and I almost crashed the car.
Let me back you up a few minutes. Where were you coming from?
I was coming from the studio, from Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale studio. Which way did you take?
I took I-75, 595 to
75.
Expressway. Yeah.
Then you took 75 south?
It's very clear to the officers that YNW Bortlen's little story is not adding up to anything. Bortlen is also trying to stay as confident about his story, trying to make it seem realistic. However, law enforcement would just catch him in a lie.
Here's the hard part where we're having a hard time to understand, is that we shut down that entire area and we had the officers shoulder to shoulder walk it out. They didn't find as much as one shell casing. They didn't find one piece of glass. Nothing. Nothing to what you said adds up. And it's hard.
Bro, I'm telling you, bro, that's like...
I mean, for whatever reason, your two friends, are these your good friends?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These my... Like,
these are your two, I'm assuming, close friends.
Yeah, we got...
And you're doing them an inservice by not telling us the truth.
I'm telling you the truth, sir. I don't, like, how... What do you want...
How do you make shell casings disappear?
I don't know. How can I tell you about a shell case?
As roughly 30 minutes into YNW Bortlen's interrogation, he is still not budging from his original story. He is sticking to the script of the streets, which is you never snitch and you never work with the feds. So the officers are just getting annoyed by YNW Bortlen until an officer would ask him this.
Let's talk about why. Are you having issues with anyone?
I mean, we are upcoming artists and stuff, so people like, you know, when you like start doing better than people, they start hating and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
So you had some jealousy issues.
Yeah, it's like jealousy issues. But goddamn, I haven't really been on there. But like he like my friend that's way now, God bless. He was telling me like, right. He always telling me about how people just like today. He was telling me some folks from up our way.
What's up your way?
Like Vero
Beach?
Area, like that's where I used to stay. You know what I'm saying? So I grew up there. So that's our hometown. You know what I'm saying?
So what did your friend say about from Vero Beach? What was he saying to you?
He was saying basically just like they were on like Instagram, Facebook, like.
The officers now understand that YNW Group is a music label with artists in the area. They're now trying to start more conversation, trying to understand why this would happen. So now there is a chance that what YNW Bortlen is saying is true. However, the interrogation would go completely south within a minute, as YNW Bortlen began getting very angry randomly, as he can tell the officers are not fully believing his story about the crime.
I told y'all the story, and that's it, bro. I don't even want to talk about it no more. Like, cause I told y'all. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know.
Okay, just so you know, all right, because you're saying, well, I don't want to talk anymore. There's going to be a lot more questions. There's, and we're not trying to piss you off. The thing is, we don't know your friends.
Yeah.
So the reason we have to ask all these questions, because the more we know about your friends, your lifestyle, your friend's lifestyle, your friends, his friends, and the circumstances surrounding today, the more, the easier it's going to be for us to try and solve this.
As commonly when the criminal in the interrogation hits this point of the interview where they are refusing to talk and not wanting to discuss further, it is then the officer's job to reset the entire playing field. The goal is to continue asking questions, hoping that either the criminal will mix up his story or even share different details than what he originally said, which is what exactly the law enforcement officers do. They reset the conversation. The police officer would then want details of the in-the-moment actions made during the quote drive-by. How was YNW Bortlen driving?
And I'm driving, ducking for my life, trying to make sure I don't get hit. And you telling me you telling me about shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. I'm driving. I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. You know what I'm saying? What I'm gonna be worried about? You know what I'm saying?
I know it's not for you to worry about.
Shit crazy, bro.
But if you tell me it happened there, there's got to be some evidence there. There's going to be broken glass, just like there's broken glass over here from when you guys open the doors and stuff like that. Okay, there's going to be broken glass over there when the windows got out. There's going to be casings from the people at your car. Okay, there's going to be evidence over there. Okay, right now there's nothing. I kind of think I know what happened because I got information.
Time is beginning to run out in their allowed interrogation time, so the officer would just flat out ask, if you know who did this, would you tell me?
By just telling me the truth, even if it's something that I don't want to hear, but I respect the truth rather than BS, okay? And it's a simple question. If you knew who did this, okay? You may or may not know. If you knew who did this, would you tell me? It's either a yes or no question. Answer.
Honestly.
Yeah, honestly. The truth. You wouldn't?
Because I wouldn't want to be a part of that. I wouldn't want to be.
As YNW Bortlen does not give a firm yes or no answer using his voice, instead he shakes his head no. This is because if it was Melly who did this, Bortlen would then obviously know that. So saying no to the officer with his voice could have caused his voice to come out at a different volume than what he's been using throughout the interview, which would be due to lying. That would be a clear indicator to police that he knows a lot more than what he's sharing. However, the police already had a hunch that it was all a lie. As stated earlier in the interrogation, Bortlen said there is broken glass and casings all over the area that the quote drive-by occurred at. However, there was nothing even there. This would be later proven as fact, as during the Melly trial, a detective would reveal the Jeep they were driving in does not look like a regular vehicle that has gone through a drive-by.
Assignment, which is to determine if this is a drive. And my determination was that this is not a drive-by. And it's based upon this picture here, which is a very good picture to describe it. All of these rounds are done. One is done at a stationary position. The at a stationary position when all but one of these rounds are going in. The one round that has some movement in it, which is round site L here, the actually moving in that to create the little bit of a that you see there.
Okay, a lot of information in that answer, so let's break it down a little bit. You mentioned so I'm going to zoom in on site F. Number, you said 17 outside the car. How many rounds were inside the car?
3.
And can you exclude the for Mr. Williams and Mr. Thomas as coming from outside of the car?
Yes. From the driver's side back seat.
As to the shot that Christopher Thomas, where did that emanate from?
Driver's side back seat.
Okay. Is it possible for there to have been 2 inside that car?
No.
Why not?
There is no time.